A dog can follow you everywhere at home and still feel completely safe when left alone, because closeness and separation distress aren't the same thing. That difference matters because assuming every dog that shadows you is anxious creates unnecessary worry, while missing real distress can leave a serious welfare problem untreated. You stand up from the couch, walk toward the kitchen, and your dog quietly follows, then settles nearby without panting, whining, or blocking your movement. This video will show you what to compare before, during, and after you leave, so you can judge the pattern instead of one clingy moment. Your dog may follow you for several reasons: habit, curiosity, a history of rewards, or a preference for your company. Those reasons don't automatically tell you how they handle separation. The useful question isn't, "How close does my dog stay?" It's, "What changes when access, distance, or my presence disappears?" A relaxed follower may check where you went, then return to resting, eating, exploring, or watching the room without needing constant contact. A dog struggling with separation may react before you leave, immediately afterward, or whenever they lose access to one particular person, even if someone else remains. So start with comparison, not diagnosis. Learn your dog's normal behavior while you're home, then watch what truly changes when you leave. Your dog's usual behavior at home is your reference point, because the same behavior can mean different things in a naturally independent dog and one who's always by your side. Notice whether your dog can stay on a bed while you move around, rest in another room, or keep chewing when you briefly disappear. Also notice how easily they stop engaging with you when nothing interesting is happening, rather than counting how many times they follow you through a doorway. A dog who chooses to stay close but can relax without interacting simply enjoys your company. A dog who can't settle without access to you deserves closer observation. Look for flexibility in everyday situations, sometimes following, sometimes staying behind, accepting a closed bathroom door, and returning to normal activity afterward. Food can be useful here, but not as a pass or fail test. Some relaxed dogs ignore food, while some worried dogs still eat briefly. What matters is the overall pattern: body tension, pacing, scanning, vocalizing, repeated checking, and whether your dog can settle again. Record a few calm moments at home before testing departures, so the camera captures your dog's normal breathing, movement, rest, and engagement. That baseline keeps you from confusing personality with a problem, and it gives you something real to compare with what happens once the front door closes. Now set up a camera where it can see the main resting area, the exit, and any doorway your dog is likely to monitor. Start with a normal, short departure rather than a dramatic test, and avoid staying away longer just to find out how distressed your dog might become. First, watch the minutes leading up to your departure, because keys, shoes, bags, or a change in routine may trigger tension before the door opens. Then note the exact sequence: departure cue, door closing, first reaction, strongest reaction, any pause, and the point when your dog settles. A brief look at the door, one bark, or a short search does not equal panic if your dog soon returns to normal behavior. More concerning patterns include repeated pacing, persistent vocalizing, heavy panting without heat or exercise, drooling, frantic attempts to escape, or refusing to use a familiar food toy. Context still matters, because barking at a delivery truck is different from barking continuously from the moment you leave until your dog finally wears out. Pay close attention to how the reaction builds and how your dog recovers. Does it rise, peak, and fall, or keep restarting without a meaningful return to rest? Signs of recovery may include lying down, the body becoming looser, taking food, shifting attention away from the exit, or sleeping for a sustained period. If your dog never reaches that calmer state during a short absence, the recording gives you stronger evidence than their affectionate behavior when you return. Repeat the observation on more than one ordinary day, because one unusual noise, digestive problem, or disrupted routine can distort a single recording. The next step is figuring out what your dog actually lost access to, because dogs can react differently to blocked access, one person leaving, and complete isolation. First, observe your dog with a safe indoor barrier, such as a baby gate, between you while you remain in view. Frustration here doesn't automatically mean distress about being alone. Next, let one familiar person leave while another stays. A dog who settles with company may be reacting specifically to one attachment figure's absence. Finally, compare a true alone time recording. These three conditions create a simple decision path: access blocked, a specific person gone, or everyone gone. A dog who struggles only behind barriers may need help with confinement or frustration, rather than the same plan used for separation-related panic. A dog who reacts when one person leaves, even though someone else stays, may have a person-specific pattern that deserves careful assessment by a professional. A dog who stays distressed whenever everyone leaves may be struggling with isolation itself, although a recording still cannot identify the cause by itself. Across all three situations, compare how soon the reaction starts, its intensity, and where it happens. Also note whether your dog takes food, can disengage, and how long recovery takes. This comparison prevents a common mistake: treating every protest at a gate as separation anxiety, or dismissing quiet pacing because the dog never barks. Before deciding what to do next, rule out lookalikes. Destruction, barking, or house soiling can happen for reasons unrelated to separation distress. A dog may bark at hallway sounds, chew from boredom, have an accident indoors because they're not fully house-trained, or panic specifically when confined in a crate. Where and when these behaviors happen can help you tell these possibilities apart. Damage around exits paired with immediate distress means something different from random chewing hours later. It's a myth that one behavior proves separation anxiety. What makes the pattern more meaningful is its timing, context, which behaviors occur together, and how your dog recovers. Sudden changes also deserve a veterinary check, especially with new house soiling, restlessness, appetite changes, signs of pain, medication changes, or confusion in older dogs. If you're still a little unsure, keep filming short, ordinary absences and note the first stress signal, the recovery point, and which conditions change the response. Don't punish damage or vocalizing after you return. Your dog can't connect punishment after the fact with an earlier fear response, and the added stress may make things worse. If your dog makes frantic escape attempts, injures themselves, experiences prolonged panic, or becomes distressed during even very short separations, seek qualified help promptly. A veterinarian can rule out physical contributors, and a reward-based behavior professional can build a gradual plan that stays below your dog's panic threshold. The takeaway is simple. Closeness tells you where your dog wants to be, but the change during separation tells you how well they can cope.